And that was the big thing a lot of people never realized about Barack Obama, is the talk. That's what really gave him the edge. He has a certain way of speaking, a certain voice that commands your attention, makes you feel about him a certain way. It's the accent, the way he speaks. And I don't know how many people realize this, but Nelson Mandela had the same thing. Yeah. See, the thing Barack Obama has in his voice, that is the voice of a first black president. Now, a lot of people didn't notice that because he was the first and last first black president of the United States. So you wouldn't know to compare. I'm lucky in that I've gotten to be, I've gotten to live in the country of two first black presidents, namely Nelson Mandela and Barack Obama. So I know what I'm talking about. They both have that thing. It's just difficult to hear because Nelson Mandela is obviously South African and he was older, but they both had that thing in the voice. When Nelson Mandela would speak, a room would silence. You could feel the energy.
I believe that every person, regardless of the color of their skin, should have equal rights, and they may never be taken again. To those who would seek to oppress, I say to you, never and never again.
And the people would lose their minds. And people would feel the chills because he had that thing. Like Nelson Mandela was destined for greatness because of that voice. He could not be a normal man with a voice like that. You can't do normal things with that voice. You are destined for greatness. You can't just be running around in the streets,
and a Kit Kat, please.
No. It's so unique. You can't be silly. What are you making, prank phone calls? Who the hell is this?
I'm not telling you.
It just doesn't work. I remember when Nelson Mandela was still alive and he would tell jokes at press conferences and events and no one would laugh. Because everyone thought a man who had been in jail for 27 years couldn't make a joke. And yet he still did. He still kept what was him. But it was partly because of that voice. He would tell the joke and it would just sound too epic for people to laugh. Everything he did, it'd just be like,
knock, knock.
He'd be like, let him in, let him in.
No. You must say, who's there?
He is so right. We've always got to ask, who's there? Who's here? Who are we? Oh my God. It was because of that voice. The first black president voice. And I'll never forget the day I saw a picture of Barack Obama meeting Nelson Mandela for the very first time. It's a beautiful image, and it's of the two men in silhouettes. In Chicago, Nelson Mandela sitting in a chair, Barack Obama leaning over him. And this was way back in the day. This was before Barack Obama was a blip on the presidential radar. He was a junior senator. Not many people knew his name. Back then, he was driving around in his own car, no motorcade, had his aide with him. And that day they heard Nelson Mandela was going to be in Chicago meeting people. Barack Obama wanted to meet him his whole life. And so he rushed over there. And he was the last person Nelson Mandela saw, the last person he saw that day. And I always imagine Nelson Mandela was sitting in the room and his assistant came over. She was like,
Mr. Mandela, I know we said we are done, but unfortunately there's just one person who would like to meet you, sir.
I was like, Zelda, I'm so tired. Can we leave?
No, I know you want to leave, Mr. Mandela, but there's a young man that you really need to meet. His name is Barack Hussein Obama.
Barack Hussein Obama. He's American.
Yes, that's correct.
He's going to have a tough time. Where is he?
He's right outside the door.
Okay, show him in. Show Barack in.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And she went over to the door.
She's like, Mr. Obama, Mr. Mandela will see you now.
And Barack walked in. He was super excited to meet his idol. Nelson Mandela was sitting on the chair. He looked over.
Young Barack, how are you?
And Barack was like, oh man, Nelson Mandela, man, this is the craziest day of my life, man. I can't believe this shit right now. I can't believe I'm meeting Nelson Mandela for the first time, man. Oh man, I waited my whole life for this moment. I'm like, I won't be just like you, man. I read your books, man. I saw what you were doing in prison. I was like, I'm gonna be the first black president of America. I'm gonna do the same things you did, man. I'm gonna win those votes, and I'm gonna be the first black president of America. And Nelson Mandela was like,
Not with that voice. You will scare the white people.
oh man, Nelson Mandela, this is the greatest day of my life, man. Oh, I don't even understand how you know, man, I just want to know from you, how do I do it? How do I do what you did? How do I become the first black president?
Well, first things first, we need to change that voice. You don't sound like you are going to lead anything.
I don't know what you mean, man. I don't know what you mean.
You are speaking so fast. Slow it down. You are not being chased anymore.
I never thought of it like that, man. I never thought.
Slow down, slow down.
Okay, I guess I do speak fast sometimes. I could
Slower than that.
I could slow it down. I could slow it way down. Is this good?
That's better. Now, you need to make sure you add some bass to your voice.
I don't know why that's an issue.
Imagine if I spoke like this. Do you think people would have voted for me? No, I would still be in jail. Bring some bass.
Okay, I could try to I could try to bring some bass. Is that
Lower than that.
I could go lower than that. Is that good?
Lower than that.
Lower, way down. I could keep it here. I can keep it here.
That's better. Now, very important. To be a first black president, your pacing must be powerful. Every word must seem like the last you will ever speak.
Wow, that's powerful, Mr. Mandela. Let me try to speak like that. Does that work?
That's good. Very good.
I can feel it.
Yes, now for the magic touch. To be first black president, you need to have the husk. No more husky. That's it, you are getting it now. That's it. I think you've got it. Now repeat after me. America.
America.
No, the husk. Bring the husk back. America.
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 Yes, I can feel it. Say, this is my country.
This is my country.
Yes, this is my dream.
This is my dream.
Yes, I can feel it. You are going to be the first black president.
I don't know. Do you think we can do it?
Yes, we can.
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 You've got it right. Now go get them, my nigga.
At least I like to think that's how it went down. But it's crazy and frightening when you think about how just the way you speak can determine and change your path in life. We still do it today. It's the reason half half of the world has immigrant problems. It's not really immigrant problems. It's the fear of something that is different. Because when people say they don't like immigrants, most of the time they're not referring to immigrants who look and sound like them. They're talking about immigrants who speak differently, who look different. You know, because an accent comes with a connotation. You think you know if someone is smart or stupid because of their accent. And yet the truth is an accent is not a measure of intelligence. It's just someone speaking your language with the rules of theirs. Accents have connotations. We cannot deny it. Look at the French. We all believe that the French are romantic. Why? Because of their accents. They've got that thing. I was thinking that maybe we could, how you say, afterwards, maybe we could try to, oh my God, he's so sexy, oh my God. Accents determine how we see people. Same thing happens with the Russians. The Russians, the most feared people on the planet. Why? Because of how they speak. I don't care who you are, you cannot deny that when a Russian speaks, you are not comfortable. As soon as they open their mouths, yeah, go to kill you, break you. I destroy your family. Even if they say nice things, it still sounds menacing and dangerous. Yeah, fluffy rabbits and teddy bears. Happy Valentine's Day. Sounds like a threat. You don't mess with the Russians. I don't care who you are, where you are in the world, you do not mess with the Russians because of that accent. All of us in the world are afraid of the Russians. They do that thing when they speak. It strikes fear into the hearts of men. And you see it every single day. Look at what happened at the Olympics. We found out that the Russians have been doping for the last 4 or 5 Olympics. Olympic Committee banned them, confidently as well, while they were in Zurich. We here at the Olympic Committee feel that Russians may no longer participate in the Olympic Games due to their doping practices. And they are now hereby uninvited from the Games in Rio and banned hitherto and into the future. Thank you very much. And the Russians were like, what did you say? Well, the truth is, you know, the Olympics is for everybody. Yeah, you can come when you want to. I mean, you know, who am I to ban you? Yeah, this is for all of us. Okay, I see you in Rio. Okay, yeah, Wiedersehen, bye-bye. Everyone's afraid of the Russians. You see it when it comes to geopolitics. Look at what happened in the Ukraine. Russia took a piece of another country, annexed Crimea, no provocation, no reason. Out of nowhere, the Russians were just like, yeah, I like. And the whole world, what did we do? You don't mess with the Russians. Most frightening people in the world. You know how I know this? You know how I've learned? Because I've learned how to use the Russian accent for myself. I've learned how to harness that energy and use it for good. I'll share this with you, I don't mind. I'm not particularly comfortable in the house at night by myself. What I'm trying to say is I'm afraid of the dark. And I know it's stupid to be afraid of the dark, right? Because there's nothing there, 9 times out of 10. But what happens is I'll be sleeping. And in the middle of the night, I'll be woken up by the need to pee. And whenever that happens, I'm always faced with the eternal dilemma. When I go to the bathroom, do I turn the lights on and lose my sleep? Or do I leave the lights off and shit myself? I never know which one to go with. But what I started doing now is I leave the lights off. And when I go to the bathroom, I just speak to myself in a Russian accent. And it sounds crazy, but I feel safe. I feel like I'm the most dangerous thing in the night. You'll find me at 3 a.m. barefoot walking to the toilet like, yes, big boy, go to make a pee-pee. No trouble over here, it's potty time. I feel safe. I feel like even if there's a monster under the bed, I'll be like, is that a Russian? There's just something about that Russian accent. It made me realize, ladies, every single one of you in this audience needs to learn a Russian accent. Because you read stories all the time. I talk to my female friends all the time, my family members. And women are constantly under assault. Women are living a life of being vulnerable, walking through the streets, men catcalling, in the office place, people groping, feeling like they have ownership of the female form. And I know, ladies, we can't solve this tomorrow, but if you learn the Russian accent, half of those problems would disappear.